Guys, this is true. One of my eBay accounts was really restricted, but as you guys are going to see, it really wasn't a big deal. It was actually completely my fault, and it was something pretty stupid I did, and I was able to get my account back from being restricted pretty easily. So I wanted to share with you guys what I did, the stupid mistake I made, and how you guys can avoid it from happening to you in the future.
Hey, I'm Paul, and I'm committed to teaching you the exact strategies I use to create multiple six-figure businesses on eBay and Amazon. These are the same methods that changed my life, and I'm here to show you how they can change yours as well.
All right, guys, what's up? It's great to be back. I was gone for a little while because I was moving from New York down to Florida. I'm here though, I'm back with these live streams, and I wanted to talk obviously about what happened during my move, which was that my eBay account, one of them was restricted. And like I said in the beginning, this was something really stupid on my part, because it was something I knew about, it's fully preventable, and yet I didn't do what I was supposed to do. So a couple of weeks ago, I actually made a video about this, which I'll talk about in a second, but I got this email a little more than a week ago. It basically was an email from eBay saying that because in my eBay account, in my settings, I have it set up where I'm collecting sales tax for several states. They are now asking me to prove that I am allowed to collect sales tax for those states. And the reason for that is eBay doesn't want people collecting sales tax and then pocketing the money. They want to make sure everyone who's collecting sales tax is doing it fully legit. Now, when this first happened to me, I got this email on my main account, and I made a video about it, talking all about how I was happy that eBay was doing this because they're kind of putting in the kibosh on people who were trying to scam people or states or buyers out of sales tax and pocketing the money. I made that video, and I did everything I was supposed to do on my main accounts, my two main accounts, to make sure that I was not running into any issues, uploaded all the documents. But I also have a third account, and the third account is one that I've set up last year, 2018. And the great thing about that account was I set it up with a virtual assistant, kind of as an experiment, where she would run the entire store for me, and I would do very little work in that store. Once she got it up and running, she would list the items, fulfill the items, do all the customer service. I never work on that store at all. She does all of it. It makes about $1,500 a month profit after all expenses, including the expense of paying that virtual assistant. So it's a great asset to have that little store going along. So I forget about it. So she had gotten this email, the one I just showed you, and she didn't know what it was. She didn't think it was a big deal, so didn't think to tell me. Now, I had gotten that email on my main account, which I did notice, but I forgot about this third account, or didn't even think to make that connection that I would also have to do the same sales tax stuff on that third account. So nothing was done. Once nothing was done, about a week later, we got this email. And this is when she noticed and messaged me about it, the VA. It said, hey, previously we contacted you about collecting sales tax and how you have to provide valid sales tax permits for every state that you're authorized to charge sales tax in. Because you didn't do this, we are restricting your account for 7 days, restricting your selling privileges for 7 days. You must upload these documents, and your failure to do so might lead to longer or permanent loss of your selling privileges. So once we saw that, obviously that was a wake-up call to me and my VA that, oh shoot, we screwed up, we should have done this. Now this happened during my move, so I had to wait a couple of days, but I did upload those documents, and now we're good to go. Our selling account is back on that one, and she's able to list items and sell items. So I feel kind of silly about this because I had literally made a video showing you guys how to do this, warning you guys that these emails were coming, and yet I didn't do it on my account. So, you know, it's just one of those things that I'm not going to beat myself up too much about it. It didn't turn out to be a big deal because we got the restriction removed, and it was a good learning lesson for everyone. I know that there are a ton of other reasons why people have their accounts suspended and restricted. So I wanted to let you guys know that underneath this video, I'm going to link up this other one that I made which is all about eBay account suspensions, restrictions, what the differences are, why your accounts might be suspended or restricted, and what to do if they are. So if you want more information about this, that would be the video to check out. That will be down below. But hey guys, if you are here in the live stream and you want to learn more about eBay and Amazon dropshipping, just leave me a message in the live stream. I'm going to answer it now. I'm going to spend the rest of this time just answering those questions. So let's see who's here in the chat. We have Christina and Martin. What's up, guys? How you doing? How's the Northeast that I just left? Oh, he had to go edit a video. Don't blame you, man. Let's see. We have Imperial Dropship here. What's up, man? Yeah, I was a couple minutes late. I'm usually very punctual, but James says I was probably late because I noticed my eBay banned my account. No, that's not what happened. Let's see. A question I want to use. Okay. Larry Smith says, hey, Paul, what's up? I have a question. I want to use DHgate as a new source, but shipping is 8 to 30 days. Will I get dinged by eBay or Amazon for long shipping times? So Larry, it's great you want to use one of these suppliers that not a lot of other people want to use. And the reason that's great is because there's going to be less people selling those items, which means lower competition for you. Now, you have identified a big problem with them, which is the long shipping time. Now, this isn't a problem. It isn't a problem because you can just put into eBay or Amazon that this product or these products have longer handling times and longer shipping times. So in theory, everything should be good because the item should still be delivered on time. However, the problem is that even though it says that, and even though when buyers check out, they'll see the longer handling and shipping times, a lot of times they don't see it. And it causes some problems where they order it and then they'll message you saying, hey, where's my item? And you can say, well, you know, it has a month delivery time. And they'll say, what? Like, that's crazy. I'm ordering from Amazon or eBay. Like, it shouldn't take that long. So people have this expectation bias, even if it says something different. So that's just something you want to be aware of. I would still try it. I don't think that's a reason you shouldn't try it, but just be aware that that's an issue you might run into. But remember, this is the reason why other people aren't going to use this supplier, which creates a big opportunity for you as a seller. And Lewis, yes, this is live. Rich is down in Florida as well, where I just moved. He says, liking my new shirt. Yeah, I'm changing up my wardrobe a little bit. I used to wear a lot of grays, and I came down here, I'm like, I can't wear my gray shirts anymore. Definitely makes me feel like a Floridian. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, so good question, stay for good. What happens is when the account was restricted, it just had an email, had a link in that email. Let me pull that email again. Oops, not that one, this one. There's a link here to submit sales tax. Probably can't see it, but the first link above it says to submit sales tax permits, please use the link below. I clicked on that. That brought me to a screen where I could upload documents. There was a drop-down menu there and it asked you what type of documents you're submitting. I just chose legal documents, and then you can only upload 10 documents at a time. So I uploaded 10 of them, and then I did it again and uploaded, I just kept doing it until I was able to upload all of them, because you can, like I said, you can only do 10 at a time. And some of you might be sales tax exempt in multiple states, or collecting sales tax, I should say, in multiple states. But the restriction, just to be clear, had nothing to do with the fact that I was drop shipping. This would have happened regardless whether I was doing retail arbitrage, thrifting, or wholesale of any kind. It was because I told eBay that I was collecting sales tax for like a couple dozen states, and I hadn't given them the proper documentation to prove that I was allowed to do that. I'd done that on my main account, but not this third account. What's up, Jeremiah? Thanks for being back again. Hey, John, my new neighbor. What's up, John? So Success Mindset says, hey, I just got that MC011 restriction. How to avoid that? You should check out that video I mentioned before. That will be linked up down below. I go much more into suspensions in that video. I won't go into it again here. James, this is James shouting out his goal here. I love to hear these goals. So my plan is to make some good money on eBay and keep it as a side stream, then move to Shopify. That's where the real money is, harder but better. So James, I have to agree, hold on a second. I have to agree and disagree with you a little bit on this. So what I'll say is that, first of all, I love your plan, because for some people, this is all they want. eBay dropshipping has a pretty low barrier to entry. It's pretty simple to get started. Pretty simple to get started with it. So it's a good way to build up some capital. Then you can take that capital, and let's say eBay dropshipping isn't your final goal. It's not what you really want to do. You can then use that money to fund your business. So James, what's pretty awesome about you is that you want to build your own Shopify store, which is awesome. The great thing about Shopify, even though I haven't successfully done it myself, I tried a long time ago, when I had a completely different mindset about online businesses and making money. I was unsuccessful with it back then. But what I'll say is that the great thing about it is that you're building your own website, you're building your own brand, and you're not relying on eBay or Amazon, which is great. But you're also not taking advantage of all the traffic that eBay and Amazon give you, which is huge. They provide you with so much traffic, right? So it is harder, like you said. But if that's ultimately what you want to do, if you're successful with it, you can be really successful with it. Now, where I disagree with you a little bit is just that there is real money to be made in dropshipping on eBay and Amazon. And even though there's great money to be made on Shopify as well, I think any platform can work if you are willing to put in the work and then create the systems and know exactly how to make the systems work. So just to be clear, my account is fully reinstated at this point. Once I submitted those documents, I was good to go, right? I think it was like 24 hours later, they messaged me and said I'm good to go, and we were making sales after that. Yep, completely true. I was stupid because I didn't give them exactly what they asked for. Oh, Fran, thanks. This was the other thing I just forgot to mention, is that when you list these items, this is going back to the question about DHgate. When you list these items up for sale, because you have the longer handling time, the longer shipping time, especially in eBay, they're going to be ranked much lower. Don has some good news to share. Don says he logged into eBay, into his seller hub, and before he had logged out, he had a listing limit that was a few hundred, and now went up to 2 billion. Is this normal, and why did this happen? So Don, first of all, congratulations that this happened to you. I'm going to be making a video soon about listing limits and why I don't ask for listing limits anymore. That video will be coming soon, so if you guys don't want to miss that video, make sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking down below. But Don, to answer your question about listing limits, maybe I should talk about what they are real quick. So eBay limits the number of items you can list on eBay per month. So let's say it's 100, which means you can list 100 items. At the end of the month, that resets. So you can list up to 100 again. It's a little bit more complicated than that, but basically that's what it is. So Don, his limit was a couple hundred items, and then it went up to 2 billion. I have heard of this happening before. I don't know why it happens. So it rarely happens, but for some people it does. I've also heard of it happening and then it going back. So Don, just keep an eye on it, that it might go back down to a couple hundred in a couple days or something. Let's see. Yeah. So while we're talking about sales tax, I want to shout out Kanika K. Hope I'm saying your name correctly. I love your avatar there. But I also wanted to shout out because you give an excellent recommendation about sales tax. Doing sales tax can be pretty complicated. Filing for it, and especially the process of collecting it and sending it to the states, because that's what you do with sales tax. Kanika recommends a service that I use also, and that I recommend, called TaxJar. It makes sales tax very, very easy to handle, and it really takes the complication out of it. So that's what I recommend that you guys use. Yeah, man, you can do drop shipping on Amazon. If you want to learn more about that, you should check out the free Amazon dropshipping course I have linked up down below. I have a free eBay one, but seem like you're interested in Amazon. So check out the free Amazon dropshipping course I'll have linked up down below. So Rafi, there's a difference between getting restricted and getting suspended and getting flagged. So if you're restricted, that's just a temporary thing, like what happened with me. It was a 7-day restriction. And basically they just want you to do something before they allow you to start selling again. In my case, they just wanted me to provide those sales tax documentations. A suspension is permanent. It means you can't sell on their platform either ever again, or they usually always say indefinitely. So you can't sell ever again with a suspension. A flagged account is where you can still sell. There's no restriction, there's no suspension, but they lower you in the search results. And that's what the difference is. All right, Thiago, what's up? Says, I have a question. How do beginners start dropshipping on eBay when there's a feedback system and it's pretty hard for beginners starting with zero feedback to make a sale? So yeah, when you're selling on eBay, every seller and every buyer has a feedback score. The better you do, your score will be 100. If you do really bad, your score will be 50%, 40%, 30%, something bad like that. You want to keep it as close to 100% as possible. Now, in addition to just being a percentage, you can also see every seller how much feedback they've received. So if a seller has 0 feedback, you know that they are a brand new seller. If they have 1 million feedback, 1 million people will have left them feedback, then you know they've been around eBay for a really, really long time. So obviously someone with high number of feedback, and that's close to 100, is a seller that you can trust. And some buyers don't trust sellers with 0 feedback or very little feedback, or feedback percentage that's really low. So as a new seller, one of your goals is to build up your feedback. And the way you do that is you can actually, it's very strange on eBay, but your feedback is the same for buying and selling. So you can buy like 100 items, and those sellers will give you feedback as a buyer, and any buyers will see that same feedback. They won't know that there's a difference between receiving feedback as a seller and receiving feedback as a buyer. So what I recommend you do, Thiago, is you start buying any items that you're going to purchase them on eBay so that you build up that feedback. In addition, try to just sell some cheap items on eBay. And when you start selling cheaper items, that will give you a chance to get a high turnover and then eventually get much more feedback than you would if you were just making a couple sales here or there of more expensive items. What's up, Travis? Thanks for being here. Let's see. Yeah, so Ed, I will be doing some meetups here in Florida. Stay tuned for that. No details available for it yet. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, so e-commerce school says, for my Amazon dropshipping account, when I'm dropshipping on Amazon, what do I use? What software do I use? So I'm using a software called Web Scraper app. Web Scraper app will check the prices on my supplier's website, like Walmart or HomeDepot.com. If the price changes, it will effectively change the price on Amazon for me automatically. That way I don't have to manually check all of them. It is a little processed how it works, but that's basically how it works. So, William asked a good question. So we sell an item on eBay or Amazon. Now we have to then take the address that's supplied to us by the buyer, purchase the item on our supplier's website like Walmart, enter in the buyer's shipping address, and ship the item directly to the customer. William wants to know if there's a software that will automate that process for you. So there are some softwares that will do that. If you're drop shipping from Amazon to eBay, there's definitely software that will do that for you automatically. There's a couple of them out there, but for most of the suppliers, like Walmart, like Home Depot, pretty much all the other ones, that doesn't exist. I think there is one that exists for Walmart now. I just can't remember the name of it off the top of my head. If anyone knows in the comment section, let us know. I just personally haven't used that one myself. And dropshipping from Amazon, dropshipping onto Amazon, a same situation. Now, what you can do is hire virtual assistants to do this. That's what I did. Virtual assistants, they live in the Philippines or India, pay them about $2 an hour, and they do all the order fulfillment for me. We also use a software called Spot and Paste, which I have linked up in the description of this video. Spot and Paste is really cool because what it does is it semi-automates the order processing for you. So the way this works is you can go onto eBay, and basically what we do is we click one button. It brings us right to the item on our supplier's website. SKUGrid puts that button on eBay for us, and then we click a button on eBay that SKUGrid again puts there. It copies the buyer's shipping address, and then once we're on, let's say Walmart, and we go to check out, we click another button on that page, or basically on the Chrome extension, it pastes the address for you. So just to kind of recap that, because it may have been a little confusing, this tool, Spot and Paste, what it does is it quickly copies addresses from eBay or Amazon and pastes it onto your supplier's website. So instead of copying line by line the first name, the last name, the address, the city, the state, the zip code, the phone number, it does all that for you in a second. So it definitely cuts the processing time, I'd say at least in half. Let's see. Okay. So William says, have you watched Zeek Analytics? I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I do use Zeek Analytics. I think it's great. So let's see some of these questions I had. Let me come back to that one. So I want to give a big shout out to one of my students, Anders. Anders started, this was, I think he posted this last week. Anders started his eBay store 10 days before he posted this and already did $2,200 in sales. This really works. So thanks, Anders, for posting that. I really love to hear success stories, even new student success stories, people doing well with eBay dropshipping. So congratulations to you. Also, this comment, I forget what this one says. Okay, this one I'm going to come back to in a second. We'll go to TJ's first. TJ is a longtime subscriber, and you see him in the chat a lot. He's also from Florida. So he wants to know if it's possible to get unflagged with an eBay account. So, you know, I've heard that it is possible. And in my own store, after taking certain steps, I feel like my sales are better. But what we've found is that we do a lot better in new stores and starting off on the right foot. I'm not sure if that's because even though we've started new systems in the old stores, they just aren't fully unflagged, or what it is. Now, the problem here is that obviously eBay isn't transparent about this, so we're not entirely sure. There are some things we can do to kind of measure if the store has been flagged or not. In my opinion, I don't think anymore that you can get your same account unflagged, but you can start a new account, and even if that account is linked up to a flagged account, we're still finding that those accounts aren't getting flagged, which is really nice, even if we're just deleting items from the flagged account and doing them in the new account. So for most people who might not know what I'm talking about, it doesn't really matter for new people, because if you're new and you follow the steps like I teach in my free course or my paid course, then you're going to be fine. You're not going to have to deal with all this stuff called flagged accounts. You don't even have to know what they are, because you're not going to run into that issue. But for those of you who have been selling and are trying to get your account unflagged, I'm really of the opinion now that it's just, I don't think it's possible. I think you really have to start a new account. We did notice improvements, but we noticed much more improvements when listing in new stores. And a lot of times new stores will do better at first, And there's a theory that they do better at first because eBay favors new stores, that they give them a boost because they want sellers to come back and keep selling items. But we found that usually lasts for a month. But these new stores are still doing better than the old ones after 2, 3, or 4 months. So that's really the opinion I have at this point, that you should start a new store there. Let's see. All right. So glad I said your name correctly. I'm not going to try it again in case I mess it up this time. So Bethany says, are you coming out with a VA course for Amazon? Great question, because the eBay course I made an eBay course, and then I made a virtual assistant course for it as an additional course. For the Amazon course is a little bit more expensive than the eBay course, and it includes sections about virtual assistants. I have a plan to add some more to that as well. So that's included in the price. So instead of having to buy 2 courses like you would for the eBay, it's all included in that one Amazon course. All right, Mike, very complicated, very tough question you asked here. Hey, Paul, I still don't know which states to charge sales tax in and what percentage. I only have seller permit in California. Do I need to get a resale permit in other states to charge sales tax? So, Mike, as much as possible, for as long as possible, you want to avoid collecting sales tax. It adds another administrative duty to your list. It's an added cost a little bit. So you don't want to do it if you don't have to. It was nice when I only had to collect sales tax for one state, which was my home state, which back then used to be New York. And it was just very simple to do that. But there were some changes in the law. So now we have to collect sales tax in other states once you start making more sales. So you don't have to worry about this as a new seller. You will eventually have to worry about this once your sales pick up. And again, I would use TaxJar, because what TaxJar does is it connects with your eBay account, connects with your PayPal account. If you're selling on Amazon, it will also connect with your Amazon account. It will actually tell you which states you have to start collecting sales tax in. You can check it, and then you see, oh shoot, I have to collect sales tax now for Washington. Not Washington, bad example. Let's say Idaho. So now you would go into eBay, change the percentage to start from 0% up to whatever it is in Idaho. Then you can start collecting it, and you'll be collecting sales tax from multiple states. But TaxJar will tell you not only how much you collected for each state and how much you were supposed to, but it'll also tell you what to do with that money, because you now have to send that money to Idaho and to California, and it will walk you through how to do that. Or you can pay a little extra to have it done automatically for you. Yep, we are live. Okay. Okay. So people in the chat keep asking me what software I'm using. The software I use is called SKUGrid. That will be linked up down below. The reason I like SKUGrid is I think it's the best software for eBay dropshipping right now. I also really like how many suppliers they work with. I think they work with close to 500 different suppliers, so a ton of them, and they're very innovative. They're always trying new things. I've criticized them sometimes because I don't think they are the most user-friendly, but once you set it up and you know what you're doing, I think it's a really good software. It's the one that I personally love and recommend. Okay, so once you buy that item from your supplier like Walmart, and then you're going to get a tracking number. Usually it's emailed to you, or they'll send you an email letting you know that the item shipped out. Then you can click on that email and it will bring you to a page where you can get the tracking number from. So just get that tracking number, copy it down, and upload it into eBay. And just to clarify, ScrewGrid is the only one that I recommend right now for listing and repricing on eBay. Let's see. Yeah, so just so you guys know, in the live chat, I'm way behind in the questions because there's a lot of them. So if you ask a question and then you ask the same question again, it's not necessarily that I'm ignoring you. It's just that I haven't gotten to that question yet. And other times I don't answer questions because I've answered them already in videos and I don't want to answer them again. So I'm looking for like new questions I haven't answered before. Health insurance. Okay, Susan, interesting question, because as an entrepreneur, if you are going into business for yourself and you're not working for a job that provides you health insurance and your spouse doesn't work for a job that gives you health insurance, then yeah, Susan, you would have to get health insurance on your own. So when I was living in New York, after I left my job in October, I no longer got health insurance. My husband is an independent contractor, so he doesn't get it either. So we had to go on COBRA, which if you don't know what COBRA is, it stands for something, but I don't remember what it stands for. And basically what it is that after you leave your job, you are allowed to continue the same health coverage if you pay the full premium price, which is usually pretty expensive. So it was expensive for the few months that we were doing that, and it's definitely not cool that it costs so much. Once we moved down to Florida here, we've immediately switched over to a new plan. Health insurance is cheaper down here, so we are saving a lot more money going on that plan. And then we're going to be going on an employer-sponsored plan soon from my spouse. Okay. So, oh, by the way, guys, if you're enjoying this video, if you like my new shirt, make sure to give the video a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. That lets me know that you guys are learning something here and you want more of these types of videos. So somebody says, is losing top-rated seller a given for dropshippers? So a lot of dropshippers have lost their top-rated seller status, but one thing I'll say about this is that we never really benefited from top-rated seller status anyway, because top-rated seller only really benefits you if you manage to get top-rated seller plus, which was next to impossible for dropshippers. So it's not something I would really worry about at all. But there has actually been an update that this just reminded me of. Let's see if I can pull this up. The news. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, because this just dropped today. Okay. Let me share my screen. Where'd it go? Okay, so Amazon just announced that they are going for 1-day shipping for all Prime members, which is huge. It's unbelievable. And this actually might even change the dropshipping game, because now if you're dropshipping just from Amazon to eBay, as a lot of people do, you'll be able to get your items to your customers even faster than probably any other sellers on eBay, unless they're also doing Amazon to eBay. So it is a huge, promise from Amazon. And it's obviously going to really change the game overall. And the reason they did this is because other websites like Walmart and Target, for instance, were catching up to Amazon and started offering 2-day shipping just like Amazon was. So Amazon says, well, you know what? We're not going to let you catch up. We're going to do 1-day shipping. This is insane, guys. Absolutely insane. You see right here, this news article says Target shares tumble as Amazon announces 1-day shipping for Prime. So this is exactly what Amazon wanted to happen. You know, everyone else has been struggling to keep up with Amazon, and now they've just made it even harder to do that as well. This is a great example of something that I've been read recently by Grant Cardone called The 10X Rule. Fantastic book, a really good book that I read recently. And in that book, Grant Cardone always talks about, or the idea behind 10X is that you want to set goals that are 10 times bigger than the goal you think you want to achieve. Because we primarily fall short of our goals, because we underestimate how much effort it will take to reach that goal. So if you set goals that are 10 times bigger than your goals, then you're going to put in 10 times more effort, which means you'll be more successful than if you just set your regular modest goal like most people do. Grant in that book also talks about how you always want to dominate an area, dominate an industry, so that when people think of that industry, they immediately think of you. And this is a prime example of what Amazon is doing. They didn't just say, hey, we're going to get your items in 3 days. No, they said, no, we're going to get you your items in 1 day. And when you think of online retail, most people think about Amazon. So they're absolutely crushing it. Grant Cardone, 10X style, a great example of that right there. Let me know if you guys know Grant Cardone and what your opinion of him is, because he is very kind of like this divisive, people's feelings about him, because there are things I love about him and things I can't stand about him. So I'd love to hear all of your opinion about him if you've heard about him before, or watch any of his stuff or read any of his books. Okay, William really wants me to do a meetup in Las Vegas. Yeah, I'll think about that. No promises on that, but I've always wanted to visit Las Vegas anyway. And I'm sure Tyler would come with us too. Okay. So can you have 2 Amazon accounts? If you could have multiple buying accounts. You can have multiple selling accounts, but you're not really supposed to. So Amazon will sometimes allow you to get multiple selling accounts, but they primarily don't. And you could set it up so you can get multiple selling accounts, but that does take a lot of extra work. You can't link the 2 accounts at all. Let's see. William says, what if there's interest for Paul to go to Las Vegas? Yeah. Oh, that's a good idea, because the eBay Open will be in Vegas, right? So now you got my gears turning. Okay, great suggestion here. Right now is a good time to list spring cleaning items, things like lawnmowers, leaf blowers, anything related to outdoor yard work is really good now. Patio furniture, grills, things of that nature are going to be big this time of year. Okay, so William says, I follow Grant on YouTube, feel the same way. Sometimes he contradicts himself. Okay, my opinion on stealth accounts. So stealth accounts are when you get suspended on eBay. You can open up, when you are suspended on eBay, usually, not always for some reason, but usually, if one account is suspended, they are all suspended and you're never allowed to sell on eBay ever again. A way around this is by creating a stealth account, which is an account that's not linked up to you at all. Use a different computer, a different IP address, or just use a VPN or VPS. Some people say that's enough. So just got to be completely separate, different addresses, different PayPal, email, all that stuff. I don't really have an opinion one way or the other. If you do everything you're supposed to do and keep your account in good health, you won't get suspended in the first place. I guess that's my opinion on it, is to avoid this from happening in the first place. If you do get suspended, then yeah, use a stealth account. I've created one myself just to see if I could do it and to do some testing, and it was not that hard to do. I've actually recorded a lot of those videos. I was going to put it inside my course, but I didn't think there was a lot of interest in it. But this question has been coming up more and more frequently. So if I still hear it coming up more and more frequently, that will be a section I add to my eBay course, all about stealth accounts and how to set them up, because it's really not that hard. Okay, cool. Oh, that's a dog. All right, I want to give one more question here. And this is a bit of a rant. Hey, Paul, I'm really interested in your course. I'm thinking about enrolling. Oh, before I answer this, I'll keep reading. Before enrolling in your class, but still a few questions. I'm currently a full-time student. I'm working a part-time job, so he's very busy, or she's very busy. I'm selling stuff on eBay and selling stuff on eBay. So doing a lot of work right now. A lot of hustle. I want to ship my items from home by myself. Okay, so they don't want to go out to stores and buy stuff. Also, I have to spend more than 2 hours answering questions and solving returns. I do want to take everything seriously, but does your Titans course solve a few difficulties I have? 1, I do not want to spend more than 1 hour every day drop shipping. 2, in that amount of time I spend every day, I want to make $50 to $100 a day consistently after fees. Thank you. I'm sorry, man. That's not going to happen. You obviously know how to hustle. You're obviously putting in the work. You're a student, you have a part-time job, and you're doing reselling on the side. So you're no stranger to hustle. But it sounds to me like you want to take the easy, lazy route with this. You are not going to build a $50 to $100 a day business working less than an hour a day. I'm just want to give you kind of reality check on that. That's not going to happen. This eBay dropshipping is a business. Amazon dropshipping is a business. And anyone who tells you that you can work on it for less than an hour a day and do really well with it is lying to you. You could probably, I know you can spend just an hour and a half a day and maybe a chunk of time on the weekends doing that, because that's what I did when I was growing my businesses while working. I would put in about an hour's work every night, basically just fulfilling orders. And then on the weekends, I would spend that time growing the business. And that was a strategy I used because that's all I had time for. And sometimes that's the best you can do. And that was enough for me. That was all I had at the time. And it was enough to grow a really successful eBay dropshipping business while working a full-time job. But if you just want to put in less than an hour a day every day, I don't think you're going to really get the kind of gains you are looking for, the kind of momentum you want in your store. So just keep that in mind. It also sounds like maybe you're trying too much. Maybe you want to wait until you're not a student anymore, or maybe you want to stop selling the other stuff on eBay that will give more time for you to focus on drop shipping. Or maybe like, what kind of job are you working? Are you working a job? I hate to say this because I never like the idea of anyone stealing from their work. If you're at work, you're committed to being there, and you should put in the time that you promised your boss and that your boss is paying you for. But if you're at work and it's one of those lame jobs that you aren't actually working at and everyone's just sitting around not doing work, are you able to do drop shipping then? Like I said, I don't like the idea of you stealing from work, and technically being on your phone or being on your personal computer at work is stealing from your work. But if they're not giving you work anyway and you're asking for it, then that's just something you might want to consider doing, is drop shipping during those small breaks you get at work. That would be my advice to you. But you got to put in the hustle. This does require work, and anyone who tells you otherwise about an online business is probably lying to you. Okay, so guys, I wanted to also let you know that if you guys have any questions for me about eBay or Amazon dropshipping or anything else, any other type of coaching you guys want, I do have a couple of resources for you. So first, just leave your question in the comment section of any of my videos. I'll take a screenshot of it and put it up on screen just like I did right here. Oh, where is it? Just like I did right here, and I'll answer your question. Or you can join me in a live stream and I'll put your question there up and I'll answer it for you guys there. Or send me a DM on Instagram. I'm always on Instagram way more than I'm on any other social media, just because this is my go-to kind of distraction. So send me a DM there. I'll either answer your question there. If you send me a voice message, I can play it during one of my live streams and answer it for you guys. I'd be happy to do that. I've done that before. Or I have some other free video courses linked up down below if you guys want to check those out. If you guys like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up if you got some knowledge out of it. If you want more great tips about eBay and Amazon dropshipping, then be sure to click the subscribe button underneath here after you hit the thumbs up. And also hit that bell right there. That's going to notify you every time I go live so that you don't miss one of these live streams. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.